Hey YouTube, Kyle from Team Pie for Life here. My first place deck profile from the Ultimate Ulti Nibiru tournament. I played Kashtira, or as I like to call it, my Zodiac deck, because it plays very similar to an old-fashioned Zodiac deck. In order to win 3 Ultimate Rare Nibirus, and then this first place OTS trophy, and some packs. First of all, shoutouts though to Team Pie for Life, and I've run on it, Pie for Life Games. Dom and Craig, they worked on the deck with me, and unfortunately bubbled. And then Matt also helped me with the deck, and my friend Kyle Watkins, who got first after Swiss with his Trap Tricks deck, and ended up getting third in total. And to Battlegrounds and War Games for hosting cool tournaments like this Ultimate Rare Nibiru tournament and case tournaments. Let's go ahead and check them out. Alright, let's get started. So we got 3 Rapier, 3 Whiptail, 2 Thoroughblade, Bunny Blast, Ram, and then your Tankies and your Barrages. Sorry, jokes aside. So, Unicorn and Fenrir are the best card quality cards in the game right now. One of them just does everything. Like, you just win the game pretty much if you resolve these. And then two Rise Hearts, because he is just the mandatory extender. You need 2, so you don't just lose 1 if you only play 1 in the mirror. And you could play 3. Some of my friends have been playing 3. My friends Dom and Craig ended up cutting a non-engine slot in order to try it to help consistency. I don't know if you need it or not yet. That still needs to be tested. Scareclaw is just good utility. Banishes Theosis to get your guys back. Helps clear out problem cards. Then Ogre is to get you to the preparations to increase your grind game and to help also against trap decks. And then 3 Pressure Planet and the Terraforming. This card gets your whole deck, and the attack just comes up a lot. That random attack and defense just helps you kill opponents so often. Then Theosis is literally just a barrage, and when you banish it, you get a guy back. It's pretty good. And then got the 3 Kashtira Birth. Some people play 2, and I don't understand that. This is the best card in the deck. You need this plus a guy to beat a lot of like big boards, so you can just normal summon the guy, and then it's a revival every turn. That's a lot of pressure, and the banish effect can come up sometimes, especially against Espia. Just don't understand what people are doing if they're playing 2. And then the 1 Preparations, it's very important for the grind game and to also help with all the trap decks in the meta at the moment. Then the 1 Big Bang, just need it for the combos. Then 3 Prosperity for consistency. So that's what I would consider the non-negotiable cards. So for my non-engine, I opted to run 3 Ash Blossom and 3 Nibiru. So Ash, generically very good, can hit Theosis. Branded Fusion, just very good against everything. Can also hit the Welcome Labyrinth, I believe. And then, yeah, I just want to be able to Ash Branded Fusion, call it a day. And just generically good all around. I'm very unsure about Nibiru. I was debating a lot between this, Book of Eclipse, or remaining econs going into the event, or even impermanences. I wanted it somewhere in my deck, and I really like my side deck, so I ended up just going with it in my main deck. It's really good going first, but it's still at the point where it's kind of weird going second, especially if people are playing safe and just making the 4 summon a Rise Heart. Like, it'll just never be live in the mirror match going second, but it's the best card to have going first, it feels like a lot of the time, and there's a lot of either rogue decks, or if people play greedy, you can just catch them off guard with it. So perhaps it should be in the main deck, maybe inside. I have to keep testing to find out and see how the format develops. Then we've got 3 Lance. So Lance is really important to, first of all, it helps to play through the non-engine in the mirror match. And then it also helps play through trap cards against all the trap decks. And then going first, it helps you just summon your Rise Heart. You'll use this to protect it from non-engine cards. And then they'll have to commit 2 to 3 cards into it. And by that point, the Rise Heart's got its value. They've lost cards to its Macrocosmos effect. You'll banish the card face down. And you'll have your follow-up for next turn. You just kill them next turn. Overwhelm them if you can't. Then I opted to go with 3 Chalice. I wanted this more so over impermanence because I had the flexibility of when you can chain it. And Kashtira is very good at breaking boards. Also, with Trap Tricks being a deck, you don't really want impermanence as much since some of their guys are unaffected. Whereas Chalice can affect their guys. And then 3 Book of Moon. I'm a very big fan of Book of Moon. Going first in the mirror match, you either book their guy and they have to have birth, or else they'll probably just pass. It's very good offensively and defensively, and you can do some cool tricks with it to dodge trap cards. Alright, extra deck, 2 Shangri-La. Shout out to the fact you can protect it from battle and card effect destruction. 3 Rise Heart, So you need 3, so that way you don't, in the mirror match, you'll make 1. If you only play 2, they'll just banish it, and you have none for the comeback in the grind game. Whereas if you play 3, you do. Because if you lose it to a banish and they out your first one, you'll probably just lose on the spot there if they play 3, especially. Then Diablosis, I never summon this. I've summoned this like once or twice ever. Big guy, you summon it sometimes, not too often, but it's one of the more made rank 7s you have. They're all just pretty good utility. You don't make a ton of them. Like Dracosec, I've actually never made this, but in theory, it's there to treat for costs to get around skill drain, especially against the trap decks. But it's yet to come up for me. Flare Metal, you don't really make this. Dark Arm, this is probably the most made thing besides the Kashtira Exceeds and Zeus. You literally just get to go make him. You can attack if the situation calls for it, and then you get the double banish and double destruction, so you can banish a Kashtira card engrave, pop one of their cards, and then banish the Theosis engrave, and then pop another one of their cards, and then get your Kashtira card back. It's pretty good utility there. 2 Zeus, you have to play 2, that way you don't just get 1 sniped in the mirror match. Then you would be without any Zeuses. Then for prosperity targets, I play Natis and Garua. I opted not to run Goliath because I found it just wasn't ever coming up. I would always rather attach these for just better overall generic value. And also, most people aren't even playing cards like Dark Hole and Raigeki. Like, they are in the format, but they're not super common, and these are just better value. I'd rather attach these first before Goliath anyways. And the extract, well, it's not super tight. Just, I didn't feel it warranted the spot. And then the 1 Donner for the utility, having Donner as Link Monster. And then side deck, 3 Droplets. So this card's pretty good. A lot of people are surprised when I use this on them, even though it's, I feel like, become pretty popular in Kashtira decks, but I guess not enough for everyone to realize it. So if it's not the mirror match, you should side send most of the time, and because you're not under a Macrocosmos, and this card's generically very good against a lot of decks. You can dodge stuff, and you can also clear Iblis if they give you Iblis. This card's very, very good. I don't know why people are surprised when they see it. 2 Econ and a Change of Heart. This is primarily for the mirror match. It should probably just be a 3rd Econ, but I did want to try the Change of Heart for a little bit more flexibility. I would need to test a bit more to say for sure, but I think it should probably just be the 3rd Econ. So I opted to run 2 Lightning Storm and a Feather Duster. So the reason for this, one was a concession to respecting the Labyrinth deck and how popular it would be. And also in the mirror match, I decided in going second these and the Econs and Change of Heart. So the main thing I noticed is it's mainly important, just if you draw this, you can hit the Birth and Preparations they have set and force the Preparations if it's live early. And you also take care of a lot of their non-engine that they'll have set in the back row. So your engine can very easily deal with an Arise Heart and a Fenrir. So destroying this makes life so much easier. In worst case, sometimes they put their Arise Heart in attack mode and they don't have a Goliath underneath. You can always just hit that as well. Then 3D Barrier. Generic good, going for a side deck card. Call Fusion against Despia and their turn ends. You can't always have Ash for Branded Fusion. And then 3 Evenly Matched. Generic, a very good side deck card, especially against the trap decks that are getting pretty popular in the meta. And yeah, that's my Kashtira deck profile. I went 7-1 overall in the event. I only had 1 loss in Swiss, which was to me making a big mistake misplaying both games, game 2 and 3. Overall, deck was pretty consistent. I breaked 1 time in top 8, but ended up getting out of it. It was pretty fine. Yeah, make sure to... Oh, also check out Yang Cards, my friend and teammate Yang Wu's YouTube channel. He does casual and competitive deck profiles, so make sure to check him out as well. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel and his channel. All right, thanks. Have a good night.